Hello everyone. Okay, so if you have not pulled out your packet, pull out your packet. And I'm going to explain what we have going on today and then even Friday, because remember I'm at that conference. But I will have my phone and computer with me, so if you run into any problems, feel free to email me and I should be able to get back to you in a pretty quick time frame. Okay, so everyone, you should have your packets out right now. And today, I want you working with a partner or a group of 3. So you are at your desk groups right now, and if there are 4 people at your table, then split up into partners. And I want those partners working together. If there's 3 people at your table, then work as a group of 3. 2 people at your table, then I want you to work as a partner. If there's only 1 person at your table, then go ahead and find another open desk so you can join another group. Okay, so we are going to be focusing on the crisscross method. So this is what we are doing today in class. And then on Friday, you're going to start this polyatomic ions activity. And just a heads up, just so you know, there is going to be a quiz on the polyatomic ions. So there's going to be a list of polyatomic ions. So there's going to be a quiz on that polyatomic ions, and you're going to need to work on spending time looking at those and remembering those. We won't take that quiz the first day that I'm back, but the second class period after I get back, that's when we're going to do that quiz. And I'm going to make sure that I give you lots of extra resources to help you study for that. But when you're doing this activity on Friday, I want you paying close attention to that. The video for Friday, Miss Watts has filmed, so it's not going to be me, it's going to be Miss Watts. So just so you know when you watch that video, she's the one that's going to talk you through that. Okay, so for today, I want you to turn to page 14, okay? So turn to page 14, and we should have already done these 2 up here. If they're not quite done yet, that's okay, but let's move on. We are going on to learning target number 3, formal charges and names, and it starts with the crisscross method. So I'm going to look at page 14 with you, then I'm going to turn it over to you guys to finish this activity. So it says ionic compounds, and you should be following along with me. Your notes should be open and taking notes as we go. The formula unit tells us the ratio of cations to anions for the ionic compound formed to be neutral. It does not mean that the ionic compounds are single units. So let me give you an example. This is a model of sodium chloride, NaCl. And the ratio is 1:1. For every 1 sodium, there's 1 chlorine. And if you put these together, because sodium is in group 1, and we know that any element in group 1, when it forms an ion, it has a +1 charge. So we're taking 1 sodium, and if we have 1 chlorine, well, chlorine is in group 17, and any element in group 17 forms a -1 charge. So there's our chlorine. So 1 positive chlorine plus 1 negative chloride, it makes it neutral, 0. But if I look at this model here, it's not just 1 chlorine and 1 sodium. There is a lot of chlorines and there is a lot of sodiums. But if we add them all together, they should be the same. We should have the exact same number of sodium and chlorine because it's a 1:1 ratio. Okay. Last time in class, or let's go. Sodium chloride is the formula unit that describes the ratio of sodium ions to chlorine ions so that the compound crystal structure has a neutral charge overall. Last time in class, we learned how to determine the formula unit several different ways. Determine the formula unit for the ionic compound between calcium and bromide, or bromine, by drawing the Lewis structure below. So when we did this in class, we approached it, we said, okay, here's calcium, and here's bromine. And then I look at my periodic table. And I find these elements on the periodic table, and I go, okay, calcium is in group 2, so it has 2 valence electrons when it's neutral, and bromine is in group 17, so it has 7 valence electrons when it's neutral. So for the Lewis dot structure, I'm going to draw those dots. Calcium had 2 valence electrons, and bromine had 7 valence electrons. And in class we discussed how it wants to mimic a noble gas. And so this is either going to be 8 dots, or 0 dots. We also talked about how metals lose electrons and nonmetals gain electrons. So that's what we're going to see here. This calcium is going to take this 1 electron. It's going to lose that 1 electron. And that's going to be grabbed by the bromine. And this is great. Let me zoom in. This is great because now the bromine has 8 valence electrons. Oh, but calcium still has 1, so it's not done yet. So I'm going to find another bromine, neutral bromine, which has 7 valence electrons. And the calcium is going to lose the second electron, and the second bromine is going to take that electron. Sorry if you hear my kids in the background. So that means this turns into calcium, and it lost those 2 electrons. So when you lose an electron, you're a cation, and it's a 2+. And then 2 bromines. The top bromine here had 7 valence electrons, but it gained 1 more. So now it has 8. So it's an ion as well. That's why I'm putting it in brackets. And it's got a -1 charge. And there was a second bromine that the exact same thing happened to it. Okay. And now that we have this cation and these anions, anytime there's a positive and a negative, then we get an attraction between it, and this is an ionic bond. And so the formula unit, remember how we always write the cation first and the anion second, and there was 1 calcium and 2 bromines. So the formula unit is 1 calcium and 2 bromines. The ratio would be a 1 to a 2. Okay, everyone. So your goal for today is to finish pages 15 through 19. 15 through 19. Now, I am going to leave the answer key with the sub, and so that'll be at the front of the room, so you'll be able to come up and check your work as needed. I need you working hard the whole time. If you finish early, I have printed a page that you can complete with your partner or your group of 3 for bonus points on the upcoming quiz. So I want you, when you're all done, pages 14, really we did 14, so 15 through 19. When you finish those pages, I want you to come check your work with the key, make sure it's right, show the sub that you have finished those pages, and then the sub will hand you the bonus question page. Let me grab one really quick to show you what it looks like. So each person that finishes, you should get this ionic compound bonus questions. Again, I want every single one of you that finishes to do this. It's not mandatory, it's just an opportunity to get some bonus questions on the upcoming quiz. You can work on it with your same partner or group of 3, but I don't want you asking anyone else in class or using any other outside resources. I've grabbed questions from AP Chemistry, and so I want you to give these questions a go. If you don't finish, no worries. I just want you guys working hard the whole time. So might as well get done what you can. Maybe you'll get one bonus point. Maybe you'll get a few bonus points. And this has to be turned in by the end of class. Like, even if it's not done, still turn it in. Make sure your name's on it. Make sure the class period is on it. And then turn this in to the sub. And you guys can put it in the basket by the sink as well. And then I will grade those and get them back to you guys next class and let you know if you got any bonus points. So I want you to keep your Unit 8 packets. Do not turn in your Unit 8 packets. You're finishing pages 15 through 19. When those are done, show the sub that you got that done. And then you are going to get this paper that gives you bonus points. There's not a key for this one because I want you to just try and do your best on that. And I will grade it and give it back to you next time. This does need to be turned in. All right, again, if you run into any problems, don't hesitate to email me. I should be able to get back to you fairly quickly. Thank you all for your hard work. I know you guys are going to be awesome. All right, bye.